Could the quantum realm and DMT trips be connected? Check out what Rogan has to say about this.
And like, how many people have gone and taken mushrooms in the woods and seen Bigfoot? It's another question. Like, how many people have taken psychedelic compounds that dissolve the ego, completely put you in a different space in terms of your headspace, and then you're able to see things perhaps that are there all the time anyway? The Bigfoot one is so weird because I always want to dismiss it. The rational part of me wants to go, oh, shut up, it's all nonsense. I go back and forth with Bigfoot. And then the other part of me goes, too many people see the same thing. Too many people have had that. They can't all be crazy or liars. They can't all be. And if they're not, then like, what is that thing? And why is there no dead body? Why is there? Well, maybe because it's not the same as we are. Maybe it comes from somewhere else. And maybe that is the whole experience, that the whole experience is weird and that you really can't quantify it. You can't talk about it the same way you talk about like, oh, I know where a sloth lives. It's like it's a different kind of a creature.
So I've been around some people that say they believe that we're part of a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that simulation is you get enough coins and you can drop in a new entity in the game that can screw with you.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you get the right mushrooms. You see little people crawling up your chair.
Or let's see how this guy handles a Bigfoot walking in front of him.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see how much his blood pressure goes up.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's also whatever we're doing as a human being going through this life, you have a certain understanding of what's real and what's not real and what to expect and what not to expect based on your life experiences, based on what everybody else is telling you about the world around you. And you kind of categorized everything into what's real and what you're going to experience walking through this world. But just what we know about the material world is so bizarre. Just what we know about subatomic particles, just what we know about the very nature of matter itself, that's all energy condensed in different weird ways, and that most of what atoms are is empty space, and that a particle, like subatomic particle, can appear and disappear. We don't know where they're going. They can be both moving. They can be moving and still at the same time. They could be in a place of superposition. Like, what are we talking about with just reality itself? Reality itself, at the lowest observable, the smallest, the deepest we can look at it, it's fucking magic. Like, reality itself is magic. And then you have the weirdness of the observer effect, that when you pay attention to particles, they behave differently.
That's right.
And that there's some sort of research that shows that somehow or another, we can actually affect particles in the past. Like, quantum physicists talk about this, not kooks like me, but quantum physicists talk about that there's some sort of evidence that the observer effect can affect things in the past. Well, how far in the past? If it's only a few seconds, is it a millisecond? And is it limited to that, or is it not? Like, is it the whole world flexible? Is everything malleable? Is everything dependent upon consciousness? And then what is consciousness? Is it simply what's in between your ears? Or are you tuning in to consciousness? And it's just the limitations of your radio that's making the world around you shape into the form that you currently see. And maybe that is why when you add things to that radio, like psychedelic mushrooms, like the ones that make you see the little people, or the ones that make you see elves and Santa Claus. I think we get real arrogant when we talk about what reality is, especially when we know from our understanding of reality that reality, again, at its quantum state, is essentially insane and impossible. It's magic.
A friend of mine the other day said, "Hey, Dave, why don't you go with me? I'm going to go do ayahuasca again." He's done it a few times. And he says, "Dave, it'll open up your mind to things that you just don't understand that are real." And he goes, "I've done it a couple times. I've had replicant seeing the same thing multiple times that I know I could never see without it. Have you ever done it?
I have not done ayahuasca, but ayahuasca is the orally active form of DMT, and I've done that.
Yeah. Is your experience positive?
Yeah, I've never had a negative experience, but it is very strange, and it feels more real than reality itself. And you are 100% communicating with creatures, some beings, things that are they appear to be living geometric patterns. I've had multiple experiences with jesters, with things that look like jesters, where they're giving me the finger, and they were basically telling me that I take myself too seriously. They were like, "Fuck you," and then I was like, "What?" And then I was like, "Oh, I get it." And they're like, "Right." They were like telling me, like, "Yeah, you take yourself too seriously." I was like, "Oh, you're right. You're right." Like, you have to be very careful with the experience, because if you're a control freak, if you can't just let go, you can lose your marbles. You can really go crazy. And it's not really recommended to anybody that has a slippery hold on reality already, like people with psychiatric conditions and people that are already kind of fucked up. But if you're reasonably stable and you are calm and rational and you can just let go, it is a wild experience. It's a wild experience that should not be illegal and should probably be studied and understood. What was the guy that we had on recently, Jamie? The guy who was doing Andrew Gallimore? How do you say his name? Who was doing those? They're setting it up in a country where it's legal, and they're doing IV DMT trips that last like 5 hours. And these people, they go and they have this experience, and when they do it, they all encounter similar places, similar beings, and similar patterns. Like, they come back with very similar stories. Like, they're making a map of the territory of whatever this is that you're doing. And they all have the exact same way of describing it, which is similar to the way I described it before I ever heard of any of this, is that it feels more real than reality itself. Reality itself seems very dull and very smushy and not crisp, if that's the way to say it. Whereas the DMT experience is very vivid. The colors are insanely bright. The experience that you get by encountering whatever these creatures seems way more powerful than any kind of experience that you have in normal everyday consciousness.
So does that drug open some kind of door or receiver or transmitter?
Well, we call it a drug, but the problem with calling it a drug is the human brain makes it. So Terrence McKenna had a great line. He said, if DMT is a drug, everyone's holding. Because you got to make something illegal that's produced by the human body. Like, we know for a fact it's produced in the brain. We know for a fact that the mind actually makes this compound, which is the most potent psychedelic compound known to man. It's very weird when the human mind, the human brain rather, makes a psychedelic compound that's the most potent compound known to man. Not just that, but it exists in thousands of different plants. The problem is when we eat them, it gets broken down in our gut by monoamine oxidase. Like, there's a bunch of different like phalaris grass is very rich in it. The acacia tree is very rich in it. In fact, there's some scholars from Jerusalem that believe that the story of Moses in the burning bush was Moses burning the acacia bush, which has DMT in it, and experiencing God.
Subscribe right now